Aussie households currently have the highest levels of personal debt, and when combined with rising interest rates, could this mean that we are headed for a property crash? Recently, AMP Capital covered what they believe to be Australia's Achilles heel. You see, Australia has some of the highest levels of personal debt, and these levels have been steadily climbing since the early 1980s. High levels of debt, when combined with a rising interest rate environment, can spell financial disaster. I know it sounds bad, but it's actually not as bad as you think. Let me explain. Firstly, you need to understand what could trigger a debt crisis. Well, that could be two things. One, a huge surge in interest rates. This would need for interest rates to go to 7 or 8%, which is highly unlikely at the moment. Secondly, rising unemployment rates, which is clearly not the case in Australia, which is currently experiencing the lowest levels of unemployment since the early 1970s. However, the mainstream media on the one side is screaming that the current levels of personal debt combined with rising interest rate mean that households are going to come under mortgage stress, have to put their house on the market at fire sale prices, and we are headed for Armageddon market crash. Other extreme, you've got CoreLogic saying that the current value of the residential property market is around 10 trillion, but only 2.2 trillion of that is actually in debt, meaning a very good LVR ratio. In addition, CoreLogic shows us that Australian households have never had more savings due to the lockdowns of COVID-19 and the lack of social spending options. So between those two extremes, where do we think it actually ends up? We think probably somewhere more in the middle. And this is going to depend on just how high interest rates actually end up going. Bottom line, you need to be careful, tighten your belt a little bit, save as much as you can, and make sure that you have your knowledge and market research as up to date as you possibly can. Like and follow for more tips and videos.